My dear child, I know your heart is heavy right now. There are forces working against you, people planning in secret. But I want you to listen closely to me. In this message, I will reveal how I am already fighting for you, protecting you, and turning every plan of the enemy into something that will lift you higher. Stay with me until the very end, because I have prepared something special just for you, a surprise that will fill your heart with peace and hope. If you truly love me, watch this entire message. I want to show you how I am working behind the scenes in your favor, and at the end, you will receive a gift that I have been holding just for you. Now, before we begin, make sure to subscribe to this channel. I am sharing my words with you every day, and I don't want you to miss anything I have planned. Hit the notification bell so you are always the first to hear my voice. Don't forget to like this video, share it with those who need to hear my truth, and leave a comment below to let me know how these words touch your heart. Join this family as a channel member to grow even closer to me, and together, we will walk this journey of faith. Stay with me now, my beloved, because I have a surprise waiting for you at the end. My precious child, there are moments in your life when it feels like the world is turning against you. People may rise up, speaking words of harm or planning things in secret that aim to tear you down. But in those moments, I ask you to pause. Do not be afraid, for I am with you, and my protection surrounds you like a shield. I have promised you that no weapon formed against you will prosper. Remember this. Those who seek to harm you cannot succeed when I am your fortress. When you feel that darkness is creeping in, when whispers of ill intent reach your ears, I want you to run to me. I am your refuge. In the face of every plan the enemy might try to devise, I stand before you, around you, and within you. My protection is not weak or uncertain. It is as strong as the mountains, unshakable. So trust me, my beloved. Let your heart find rest in the knowledge that you are never alone. You might be tempted to react, to take things into your own hands, but I ask you to leave it in my hands. For I see every heart and know every thought. Those who rise against you are not hidden from me. Their plans, though crafted in secret, are laid bare before my eyes. And while they may think they hold power over you, they are powerless in my presence. You are my child, and I fiercely protect my own. When David faced Goliath, he did not tremble because of the giant's size or strength. His confidence was in me. He knew that I had already secured the victory, and just as I delivered him, so will I deliver you. Do not focus on the size of your enemies or the complexity of their schemes. Focus on me. Keep your eyes on me, and you will walk through the storm untouched. The enemy may try to stir up fear in your heart, making you feel weak, unworthy, or outnumbered, but I tell you, fear has no place in the heart of one who trusts in me. I am the one who goes before you, the one who fights for you. If I am for you, who can be against you? Take courage, my beloved. Let your heart be still and know that I am God, your protector. When the enemy comes like a flood, I raise a standard against him. When they plot and conspire, I turn their plans to dust. They may gather against you, but they will scatter in confusion. You see, my ways are higher than theirs. They cannot understand the depth of my wisdom or the might of my power. So do not let their threats shake you. Stand firm in your faith, for I am faithful to you. I have placed my angels around you, and they are vigilant in their watch over you. Every time you call upon me, I hear you. I respond not with delay, but with the fullness of my strength. Know this, my response is always timely, always perfect. Even when you don't see it immediately, I am working on your behalf. Your enemies may have plans, but I have greater plans for your good. Look at the story of Joseph, my precious child. His brothers planned to harm him, selling him into slavery, thinking they had taken away his future. But their plans were not the final word. I took what was meant for evil and turned it for good. In the end, Joseph was lifted up, placed in a position of great power and authority, and he became the very one who saved those who betrayed him. This is how I work, my beloved. What others plan for your downfall, I use to raise you up. There will always be those who oppose my children, but there will never be a day when I leave you unprotected. Do not let the presence of enemies make you doubt my presence with you. Just as a shepherd watches over his sheep, so do I watch over you. And I do not sleep. My eyes are always on you, guarding you from harm, guiding you in paths of safety. When you trust me, truly trust me, you open your heart to my peace, a peace that the world cannot give and that no one can take away. It is this peace that will guard your heart and mind, even in the midst of attacks. So, my child, when others plan against you, let it not trouble you. Instead, find rest in the shelter of my wings. You are safe here. No plot of the enemy can prevail when you are held in my hand. I invite you now to reflect deeply on my promise. Remember how I have been faithful in the past, how I have delivered you from danger time and time again. I will do it again, for I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. Let this truth sink into your heart. You are covered by my love, surrounded by my protection, and I will never let you go. Take time, my beloved, to sit with me, to pour out your heart and tell me of your fears. I hear every cry, and I am moved with compassion for you. I will fill you with the strength you need to face every challenge. You do not walk this path alone. I am here, your ever-present help in trouble. Now, let me speak to your spirit. Stand tall, my child. Stand firm in my protection. Do not let the plans of others weigh down your heart, for they are nothing in comparison to my plans for you. I am your shield. I am your defender. Walk forward in confidence, knowing that I am with you, now and always. If these words of trusting in my protection have touched your heart, write in the comments, I trust you, Lord, to protect me from every plan against me. My precious child, I see the turmoil in your heart. The world around you may seem filled with conflict, troubles with those you love, misunderstandings, harsh words spoken against you, and plans to disturb your peace. I know how it feels, the weight of that burden, but I am here to remind you that true peace is not something the world can give or take away. It comes from me. I am your peace, and I long for you to rest in that peace, even when everything around you feels unstable. Conflict is part of this world, but it does not have to steal your joy. When you are faced with trials, with people who seem to be against you, or situations that stir your emotions, pause and come to me. In the silence of that moment, you will hear my voice whispering calmness into your spirit. I offer you a peace that goes beyond understanding, a peace that remains when everything else is uncertain. You are my child, and I never want you to walk through conflict alone. I am with you. Look to me, my beloved, for I have overcome the world. Do you remember when I calmed the storm? My disciples were afraid, worried that the wind and waves would consume them. Yet, with a single word, the storm ceased. Just as I calmed that storm, I can calm the storms in your heart. You may not always see the circumstances change immediately, but the peace I give you will anchor you even in the roughest waters. Conflict may come from others, those who misunderstand you, who speak ill of you, or who seem to seek strife. But do not let their actions rob you of your peace. You are not defined by what others think or say. You are defined by my love for you. I have called you my own, and nothing can separate you from that love. The words and actions of others may hurt, but they cannot change who you are in me. Remember that, my child, and let it bring peace to your heart. There is a stillness that comes when you place your trust in me. When the world is noisy with accusations, when arguments rise around you, when fear tries to grip your heart, come to me. My arms are open wide, ready to hold you, to shelter you from the chaos. In my presence, you will find the peace your heart longs for. Let me be your refuge, your place of rest when conflict surrounds you. I want you to remember that peace is not the absence of problems, but the presence of me in the midst of them. When you carry my peace within you, no storm can shake you. My peace is stronger than any conflict, any fear, any trial. It is a gift I freely give, but you must choose to receive it. When your heart feels heavy, come and lay those burdens at my feet. I will exchange your heaviness for the lightness of my peace. In moments of conflict, it is easy to become defensive, to feel the need to protect yourself with harsh words or quick actions. But I ask you to do something different. Trust me to fight your battles. Let your words be gentle, even when others speak harshly. Let your heart be soft, even when the hearts around you are hardened. You see, my child, peace is not just something you receive from me. It is something you carry into the world. As you walk in my peace, when you become a peacemaker, someone who reflects my heart even in difficult circumstances. Think of how I responded in the face of conflict. When I was falsely accused, when I was mocked and scorned, I did not retaliate with anger. I remained in the peace of the Father's love. This is the peace I want to give you, a peace that doesn't depend on how others treat you, but a peace that comes from knowing who you are in me. You are loved, deeply and fully, and that love is your foundation, your strength when others seem to turn against you. Do not let conflict harden your heart. My child, stay close to me, and I will keep your heart soft and full of peace. When others are angry or upset, respond with kindness. When you feel attacked, let my peace be your shield. The peace I give is not weak, it is strong. It is a peace that stands firm in the face of adversity, because it is rooted in my unchanging love for you. I know there are moments when it feels like the conflict around you is too much to bear, but I am here to remind you that you are never carrying it alone. I am with you, and I will help you through every challenge. My peace will guard your heart and mind if you let it. When you feel overwhelmed, take a deep breath and turn your eyes to me. Focus not on the conflict, but on my presence with you in it. In that moment, you will feel my peace wash over you, calming your fears, silencing the noise of the world. I invite you now, my beloved child, to rest in my peace. Let go of the need to control the situation, and trust that I am working even when you cannot see it. Let go of the need to defend yourself, and know that I am your defender. Let go of the worry, and rest in the assurance that I hold you in my hands. You are safe with me. I will not let you fall. Remember, my child, that peace is not something you must chase or earn. It is my gift to you. Simply come to me and receive it. Let my peace fill your heart, and then carry that peace with you wherever you go. In a world full of conflict, you are called to be a light, a beacon of my love and peace. Trust me, and I will lead you through every storm. If these words about finding peace in the midst of conflict have touched your heart, write in the comments, "I receive your peace, Lord, even in the storm." My precious child, I see the things that are hidden from your eyes. There are moments in your life when people might gather, speaking in whispers, plotting in secret against you. They may think that no one knows, that their plans are concealed in darkness. But remember this, nothing is hidden from me. I see all things, and I am your defender. I have promised to stand between you and those who seek your harm, and my promises never fail. When the enemy rises up against you, my child, do not be afraid. Do not let fear take root in your heart, for I am with you, and I will fight for you. You do not need to defend yourself, for I will be your defense. The plans that are made in secret, the schemes that others devise, none of these can stand against my power. I will shield you, and I will frustrate the plans of those who seek your downfall. Think of how I defended my servant Daniel. He was surrounded by those who envied him, who plotted against him, hoping to destroy him. They threw him into the lion's den, thinking that his fate was sealed. But I was with him. I shut the mouths of the lions, and no harm came to him. Just as I protected Daniel, so will I protect you. The plans of your enemies will not succeed because I am your God, and my protection is upon you. There is no need to be anxious, my beloved. Though others may plan against you, their plans will crumble in the face of my power. I will scatter them like dust before the wind. When you place your trust in me, I will be your refuge. No weapon formed against you will prosper, for I am the one who goes before you. I will make a way where there seems to be no way, and I will turn every plot against you into an opportunity for my glory to shine through your life. You may not always understand why others rise against you, but I want you to know that even in the midst of these trials, I am working for your good. Sometimes, what others intend for your harm, I will use to bless you. I turn what is meant for evil into something good. Do you remember Joseph? His brothers sold him into slavery, plotting against him because of their jealousy. But what did I do? I took the very thing that was meant to destroy him and turned it into the path that led to his destiny. I will do the same for you, my child. No plot, no scheme, no plan of man can thwart the purpose I have for your life. When others come against you, when they spread lies or try to harm you, remember this. I am your vindicator. You do not need to seek revenge or defend yourself with harsh words. Trust me to handle it. I will bring justice in my time, in my way. Your job is to remain faithful to me, to keep your heart pure, and to trust that I am working even when you cannot see it. Do not let the actions of others steal your peace. I am the one who holds your future in my hands, not those who plot against you. They may think they have power over you, but I tell you, their power is nothing compared to mine. Rest in the assurance that I am your shield, your fortress, and your strong tower. When you run to me, you are safe. No plan against you can succeed when you are hidden in me. I know, my child, that it is hard to face opposition. It can feel lonely, and the weight of it can be heavy on your heart. But I want you to remember that you are never alone. I am with you in every moment, in every battle, and I am your strength. When you feel weak, lean on me. When the pressure becomes too much, come to me, and I will give you rest. My presence will sustain you through every trial. Let your heart be at peace, for I have already gone before you. I have already secured the victory. The enemy may try to rise up against you, but his efforts are in vain. I will frustrate his plans, and I will cause confusion in the camp of those who seek your harm. Just as I did for Gideon, I will turn the plans of the enemy against themselves. The very things they intend to use against you will become their downfall. Do not worry about what is being said or done in secret. I see it all, and I will expose what needs to be exposed. I will bring light to the darkness, and I will reveal the truth. Trust me to handle it, and do not let your heart be troubled. I am working behind the scenes, even when you cannot see it. You are not abandoned, and you are not forgotten. My eye is upon you, and I am watching over you with great care. When others plan against you, I will turn their plans to nothing. When they speak against you, I will silence their words. When they try to harm you, I will raise a shield around you that they cannot penetrate. I am your defender, and no one can stand against me. You are safe in my hands, my beloved child. Trust in my promise to protect you, and let that trust fill your heart with peace. Now I want you to take a deep breath and release every worry, every fear, every anxious thought. Place it all in my hands, for I am capable of carrying it for you. Let me be your strength and your shield. Trust that I will defend you, that I will stand between you and every plot against you. My protection over you is sure and unshakable. If these words of God's promise to defend you have spoken to your heart, write in the comments, Lord, I trust you to defend me from every plot against me. My precious child, I know the fears that sometimes grip your heart. I see the anxious thoughts that creep in when you least expect them, the worries that seem too heavy to bear. But I want you to know that you don't have to live in fear. You don't have to carry the weight of anxiety on your shoulders. I am with you, and my perfect love casts out all fear. You are not alone in this struggle. Throughout the ages, my children have faced fear and anxiety, but I have always been their comfort, their source of peace. Do you remember when my disciples were in the boat during the storm? They were terrified, thinking the storm would overwhelm them. But in that moment of fear, I spoke to the storm, and it became still. Just as I calmed the storm for them, I will calm the storm within your heart. Fear may come, but it does not have to control you. Anxiety may try to overwhelm you, but I am greater than any worry that could ever enter your mind. I want you to remember, my beloved, that you were not created to live in fear. I did not give you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. When fear and anxiety rise up, let your faith rise even higher. Place your trust in me, and I will fill you with peace that goes beyond understanding. There will be times when the circumstances around you seem overwhelming. The problems you face may feel too big, and the future may seem uncertain, but I am here to remind you that I hold the future in my hands. There is nothing ahead of you that I have not already seen, nothing that can surprise me or cause me to be anxious. Trust in me, for I am the one who walks with you through every valley, through every storm. My peace is your inheritance, and I am eager to pour it out on you. When fear whispers in your ear, telling you that you are not enough or that things will not turn out well, remember this: I am your Father, and I will provide for you. I am your shepherd, and I will lead you to green pastures. I am your protector, and no harm can come to you outside of my will. You are safe with me. Fear may come knocking, but it has no place in the heart of my beloved child. I will take care of you, always. I want you to picture a mountain, my child. Fear and anxiety often feel like that, a massive mountain standing in your way, blocking your path. But I tell you, with faith the size of a mustard seed, you can say to that mountain, "Move," and it will move. Your faith in me is stronger than any fear you could ever face. When your heart starts to tremble, when anxiety tries to settle in, speak my truth over your life. Declare my promises, and let your faith take root. You will see that mountain of fear shrink before you. Do not be discouraged when anxiety tries to return. It doesn't mean you are weak or lacking in faith. Even my greatest servants faced moments of fear. But the difference is this: they brought their fears to me. David, a man after my own heart, faced many fears. He cried out to me in his distress, and I heard him. I did not turn away from his cries, and I will not turn away from yours. Come to me when you feel afraid. Let me be your safe place, your hiding place. There is power in surrendering your fears to me. You don't have to carry them alone. When you give your fears to me, I replace them with my peace. I take your worries and fill your heart with the assurance that I am in control. You are my child, and I care deeply for you. I care about every detail of your life, even the things that may seem small to you. Nothing escapes my notice, and I am faithful to provide for every need, to guide you through every challenge. I want you to know that I understand what it feels like to face fear. When I walked this earth, I experienced the weight of human emotion, the uncertainty of what lay ahead. In the Garden of Gethsemane, I was deeply troubled, but even in that moment, I surrendered it all to the Father. I know what it's like to feel the heaviness of anxiety, but I also know the freedom that comes from placing it all in the Father's hands. This is the freedom I offer to you, my beloved. Let go of the fear. Let go of the anxiety. Place it in my hands, and I will give you rest. Sometimes, fear and anxiety come from looking at the waves around you, much like Peter did when he walked on the water. When he kept his eyes on me, he walked above the waves. But the moment he looked at the storm, he began to sink. My child, the waves in your life may feel high, and the wind may be strong. But I am inviting you to keep your eyes on me. As long as you focus on me, you will not sink. I will lift you above the storm, and I will carry you through it. Faith is the key to overcoming fear. It is not about pretending the fear doesn't exist. It's about trusting that I am bigger than any fear you face. It's about believing that I am with you, even when you cannot see the way forward. I am your light in the darkness, your guide in the storm. Hold on to me, and I will lead you through every fear, every worry, every anxious thought. I know that life can be overwhelming at times, but I want you to remember this. I am greater than anything you will ever face. I am with you in every moment, and I will never leave you. My perfect love surrounds you, and my peace is available to you in every situation. Do not let fear and anxiety rule your heart. Let my love fill you, let my peace guard you, and let your faith be your anchor. If these words about overcoming fear and anxiety with faith have spoken to your heart, write in the comments, I choose faith over fear. Lord, my precious child, I want to remind you today of something that is at the core of everything. I am sovereign. I am in control of all things, both great and small. There is nothing that escapes my attention, nothing that happens outside of my knowledge or my will. When you face trials, when things seem to spiral out of control, when plans fall apart and uncertainty surrounds you, remember this: I am still on the throne. I have not abandoned you. I am the one who holds the world in my hands, and I hold your life in those same hands. There are moments in your life when you may question, why is this happening, Lord? Why does it feel like everything is against me? But my beloved, even in those moments I am working for your good. I am weaving together every piece of your story, the highs and the lows, the joys and the sorrows, to bring about a greater purpose. You may not see the whole picture yet, but I do. I see the beginning and the end, and I know the path you are walking. Trust in my sovereignty, for I do not make mistakes. When you feel as though the ground is shifting beneath your feet, when the plans you've made seem to crumble, remember that I am the solid rock on which you stand. I am unchanging, unwavering, and my purposes for you are steadfast. The world around you may change, but I do not. My love for you remains constant, and my plans for you are always good. Even when the path is difficult, I am leading you to a place of blessing and peace. I know there are times when it feels like life is spinning out of control, but I want you to know that I am in control, even in the chaos. There is nothing that happens outside of my will. I see every detail of your life, and I am working in ways you cannot always understand. When Joseph was sold into slavery by his brothers, it seemed as though his life had taken a terrible turn. But even then, I was with him. I used what was meant for evil to bring about good. And just as I did for Joseph Tikar, so I will do for you. Nothing is wasted in my hands. Every trial, every struggle, every moment of uncertainty is part of the story I am writing for you. You see, my beloved, I am not just the God of the good times. I am also the God of the storms, the valleys, and the wilderness. When things are going well, it's easy to see my hand at work. But even in the hard times, I am still working. I am shaping you, refining you, and preparing you for the things I have planned for you. My ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts are higher than your thoughts. You may not always understand what I am doing, but trust that I am doing something far greater than you can imagine. Do you remember Job? He faced unimaginable loss and suffering, and yet through it all, I was with him. I never left him. In the end, I restored everything he had lost, and more. Job didn't understand why he was going through such trials, but he trusted in my sovereignty, and that trust sustained him through the darkest moments. I am asking you to trust me in the same way, my child. Even when you don't understand, even when the way is difficult, trust that I am in control and that I am working all things together for your good. When the world feels uncertain, when everything seems to be shifting, hold on to this truth. I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. My love for you does not change with your circumstances. My plans for you are not derailed by the actions of others or by the trials you face. I am sovereign over all things, and I am sovereign in your life. No one can thwart my purposes for you. No one can take away the destiny I have set before you. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when things don't go the way you expected. It's easy to feel anxious when the future seems uncertain. But I am calling you to rest in my sovereignty. I am calling you to lay down your worries, your fears, and your anxieties at my feet, and trust that I am in control. I know the plans I have for you, and they are plans for good, to give you a future and a hope. Even when things don't go according to your plans, they are still going according to mine. Let me remind you of my sovereignty over creation. I spoke the world into existence. I set the stars in the sky and told the oceans where to stop. I control the rising and setting of the sun, the changing of the seasons, and the beating of your heart. If I am sovereign over all of these things, how much more am I sovereign over your life? I know the number of hairs on your head. I know your thoughts before you think them. I know the desires of your heart, and I am working to fulfill them in ways that are far beyond what you can imagine. I see your struggles, my beloved. I see the battles you face, the worries that weigh on your heart, but I am asking you to release them to me. You don't have to carry the burden of trying to control everything. That is my job, not yours. Your job is to trust me, to walk in faith, and to rest in the knowledge that I am in control. I am the one who holds the world together, and I am the one who holds you together. Nothing can separate you from my love, and nothing can take you out of my hands. So, my child, let go of the need to have all the answers. Let go of the need to understand every detail. Trust in my sovereignty. Trust that I am working, even when you don't see it. Trust that I am leading you, even when the path is unclear. I have not forgotten you. I have not abandoned you. I am with you, and I am in control. If these words about remembering God's sovereignty have touched your heart, write in the comments, Lord, I trust in your sovereignty over my life. My beloved child, I know there are times when you face attacks from others, moments when the words or actions of people seem like arrows aimed at your heart. It hurts, and I understand that pain. But in these moments, I want you to remember that you are not alone, and you are not without help. I am with you, and I will give you the strength to endure every attack with grace and dignity. When others rise against you, trying to harm you or tear you down, I will lift you up. I will strengthen you with my presence, and I will teach you how to walk through these trials with your head held high, secure in my love. It can be tempting to respond to attacks in kind, to defend yourself with anger or bitterness. But I call you to something higher, something greater. I call you to respond with grace. Grace is not weakness, my child. It is strength. Strength that comes from me, from knowing that I am your defender and that you do not have to fight these battles on your own. When you choose to respond with grace, you are choosing to trust me, to believe that I will handle the situation in my perfect timing and in my perfect way. Do you remember how I responded when I was attacked? When I stood before those who accused me, when they mocked me and spoke lies against me? I did not retaliate. I could have called down legions of angels to defend myself, but I chose the path of humility, the path of grace. And in that moment, though it seemed like I was defeated, I was actually victorious. My strength was not in fighting back, but in trusting the Father's plan. I invite you to walk that same path, to trust me even when you are under attack, to believe that I will bring justice in due time. When you are attacked, whether it is through words, actions, or circumstances, I want you to come to me first. Lay your pain, your frustration, and your hurt at my feet. Let me be the one to comfort you, to heal your wounds, and to fill you with the strength you need. You don't have to carry the burden of trying to defend yourself. I am your defender, and I see everything that is happening. Nothing escapes my notice, and I will not let the actions of others go unanswered. But I ask you to trust me with the timing. Trust that I know the right way and the right time to bring justice. In the meantime, my child, I want you to focus on keeping your heart pure. When attacks come, it is easy to let bitterness take root. It is easy to dwell on the wrongs that have been done to you, to replay the hurtful words in your mind over and over again. But that is not the path I have for you. I want you to release those hurts to me. Do not let them take root in your heart. Instead, let my love fill your heart, washing away the pain and replacing it with peace. When you do this, you will find that you can endure even the harshest attacks with a sense of calm and dignity that can only come from me. There is power in grace, my child. When you choose to respond with grace, you are not only protecting your own heart, but you are also showing others a glimpse of my love. Your response in the face of attacks can be a powerful testimony to those around you. When others see you walking in peace, when they see that you are not shaken by the words or actions of those who try to harm you, they will wonder what gives you that strength. And that is when you can point them to me. You can show them that your strength comes from a higher source, that your peace comes from trusting in the one who holds all things in his hands. Do you remember Stephen, my faithful servant? As he was being stoned, he looked up to heaven and saw my glory. In the face of such a brutal attack, he did not respond with anger or hatred. Instead, he prayed for those who were hurting him, asking me to forgive them. That is the power of grace. Even in the most difficult moments, Stephen's heart was filled with love and forgiveness. And because of that, he entered into my presence with joy and peace. I am calling you to that same kind of grace, my child. I know it is not easy, but I will give you the strength to walk that path. When you are attacked, it is not just a test of your patience. It is an opportunity for me to work in your heart, to shape you into the person I have called you to be. Every trial, every difficulty is an opportunity for growth. It is a chance for you to lean on me more fully, to trust me more deeply, and to reflect my character more clearly. So, do not be discouraged when attacks come. Instead, see them as opportunities for my grace to be displayed in your life. When you respond with grace and dignity, you are becoming more like me, and that is a victory greater than any earthly triumph. You may wonder how you can possibly endure these attacks with grace, how you can keep your heart pure when others are treating you unfairly. But I tell you, my child, it is not by your own strength. It is by my Spirit working within you. When you come to me, when you spend time in my presence, I will fill you with the strength and the peace you need. I will give you the ability to rise above the attacks, to see them from my perspective, and to respond in a way that honors me. It is not something you have to do on your own. I am with you, and I will help you every step of the way. I also want you to know that your endurance is not in vain. I see every moment of pain, every attack you endure, and I will reward your faithfulness. I will lift you up in due time. Those who attack you may think they are winning, but I am the one who holds the final victory. You do not need to worry about defending your reputation or proving yourself to others. I am your defender, and I will vindicate you in my time. Your job is to remain faithful to me, to keep your heart pure, and to trust that I am working all things together for your good. If these words about finding strength to endure attacks with grace and dignity have touched your heart, write in the comments, "I will endure with grace and Lord, trusting in your strength and justice." My beloved child, I know that forgiveness is not always easy, especially when others have set their hearts against you, when they have spoken against you or taken actions that caused you pain. But I am calling you to a higher way, the way of forgiveness. I know the hurt you carry, and I understand the depth of your pain, but I also know that holding on to that pain will only weigh down your heart. Forgiveness is not just for the one who hurt you, it is for you. It is the key to your freedom, to your healing, and to the peace that I long to give you. When others intend harm, when they act with malice or carelessness, your natural response may be to hold on to that hurt, to let bitterness take root. But I ask you to look to me, to remember how I have forgiven you. There is nothing anyone has done to you that I have not already forgiven on the cross. When I hung there, my arms stretched wide in love, I carried the weight of every sin, every betrayal, every wound, and I did it for you so that you might walk in freedom, both forgiven and forgiving. You see, my child, forgiveness is not about excusing the wrong that was done. It is not about pretending that the hurt didn't happen or that the pain isn't real. No, forgiveness is about releasing that person from the debt they owe you. It is about giving me the burden of justice, trusting that I will take care of it in my perfect way and my perfect timing. It is about freeing yourself from the chains of anger and bitterness that can bind your heart if you hold on to the offense. Think of my servant Joseph. His brothers sold him into slavery, intending to harm him, to rid themselves of him because of their jealousy and hatred. For years, Joseph lived with the consequences of their actions, separated from his family. enduring hardship after hardship. But when the time came, when Joseph stood before his brothers once again, he did not choose vengeance. He chose forgiveness. He saw that even though his brothers had intended harm, I had used their actions for good. He released them from the debt they owed him, and in doing so, he freed himself from the burden of carrying that hurt. My beloved, I want to do the same for you. I want to take the heavy load you are carrying, the hurt that weighs on your heart, and I want to exchange it for my peace. But you must be willing to forgive. You must be willing to let go of the anger, the bitterness, the desire for revenge. Trust me to be your defender. Trust me to bring justice. I know what was done to you, and I have seen every tear you've cried. I will not let the wrongs done to you go unnoticed, but I ask you to release the person who hurt you into my hands so that I can heal your heart. Forgiveness is not a one-time act, my child. Sometimes the pain is deep, and the wounds are fresh, and you may need to forgive over and over again. Each time the memory of the hurt rises up, each time the enemy tries to stir up bitterness in your heart, I want you to bring it to me. Lay it down at my feet, and let me give you the grace to forgive once more. It is a process, but I will walk with you through it. You do not have to do it on your own. When I walked this earth, I experienced the pain of betrayal. Those closest to me, those who should have loved me the most, turned against me. Judas, one of my own disciples, betrayed me for a few pieces of silver. Peter, who swore he would never leave my side, denied even knowing me in my darkest hour. The crowds, who once praised me, called for my crucifixion. I know what it is to be hurt by those who should have cared, and yet as I hung on the cross, I looked at those who had condemned me, those who had mocked and beaten me, and I said, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. That is the heart I want to cultivate in you, my child. A heart that can forgive even when the pain is deep, even when the harm was intentional. A heart that is so filled with my love and grace that it overflows with forgiveness. Even for those who have caused you harm, you may feel that it is impossible to forgive, that the hurt is too great, but remember this. With me, all things are possible. I will give you the strength to forgive, if you will only ask. Forgiveness does not mean that you must continue to allow others to hurt you. It is not about becoming a doormat or tolerating abuse. There are times when it is necessary to set boundaries, to protect yourself from further harm. But even in setting those boundaries, I call you to forgive, to release the bitterness and the desire for vengeance, and to trust that I will take care of the justice. When you forgive, you are not saying that what was done to you was okay. You are saying that you will not let it have power over your heart anymore. I know that forgiveness can feel like a sacrifice, but it is a sacrifice worth making. It is the way to healing, the way to peace, the way to freedom. When you hold on to unforgiveness, it is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to be harmed. It only hurts you. But when you forgive, you release that poison from your heart, and you make room for my healing love to flood in. So, my precious child, will you trust me with your hurt? Will you let me take the pain and the anger and exchange it for my peace? I promise you, when you forgive, you will experience a freedom and a joy that you have never known before. You will no longer be held captive by the actions of others. You will walk in the fullness of my grace, knowing that I am your defender, your healer, and your protector. If these words about forgiving those who intend harm have spoken to your heart, write in the comments, I choose to forgive, Lord, and I trust you with my heart. My beloved child, I know the battles you face. I see the struggles in your heart, the conflicts around you, and the pressures that try to overwhelm your soul. But I want you to remember something very important. I am your refuge. I am your shield. When the storms of life rage against you, when the attacks of the enemy seem relentless, I am the place where you can find safety, rest, and protection. I have always been, and I will always be, your shelter in the storm. When the world becomes too much, when the burdens you carry feel too heavy, come to me. Run to me and let me be your refuge. You don't have to fight every battle on your own. You don't have to figure everything out or have all the answers. My child, I want to be the one who carries you through every hardship. I want to be the shield that protects you from every arrow of fear, doubt, and despair. I am your strong tower, and in my presence, you are safe. You see, my beloved, the world is full of uncertainty. There will be trials. There will be moments when you feel vulnerable and exposed to the attacks of others, to the lies of the enemy, or to the hardships that life brings. But in those moments, and remember this, I am your shield. I am the one who stands between you and the harm that seeks to overtake you. No weapon formed against you will prosper because I am guarding you with my strength, my love, and my faithfulness. You can take refuge in me no matter what comes your way. Do you remember David, my servant? He faced so many enemies, both physical and spiritual, but he always turned to me. He found his refuge in me. In his Psalms, he cried out, "The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. My God is my rock, in whom I take refuge, my shield and the horn of my salvation." David knew where his safety came from, and I want you to know that same truth. I am your rock, your fortress, and your shield, and you can trust me to protect you in every battle. When you feel surrounded, when it seems like the forces against you are too strong, I want you to remember that you are never alone. I am with you. I am the one who fights for you. The battle is not yours. It is mine. And I am victorious. There is no enemy too great, no challenge too overwhelming, that can stand against me. I have already won the victory, and I invite you to rest in that victory. You don't have to fight with your own strength. You can rely on me. I will be your defender, your shield, and your refuge. There is a peace that comes when you turn to me as your refuge. It is a peace that the world cannot give. It is a peace that comes from knowing that you are held in my hands, that nothing can harm you when you are in my care. I know the plans I have for you, and they are plans for good, not for harm. Even when the path is difficult, I am working for your good. I am using every trial, every hardship to draw you closer to me and to strengthen your faith. My child, I am not just a refuge for your physical protection. I am a refuge for your soul. When your heart feels weary, when the weight of life presses down on you, come to me. I will give you rest. I will restore your soul. In my presence, you will find the peace that you long for, the strength to carry on, and the joy that comes from being loved by your Father. I am your refuge in times of trouble, and I will never leave you or forsake you. When the enemy tries to fill your mind with fear, when he whispers lies that make you doubt my love or my power, remember that I am your shield. I will guard your heart and mind with my truth. My word is a shield around you, protecting you from the fiery darts of doubt, fear, and insecurity. When you feel those attacks coming, run to my word. Let it be your protection. Let it remind you of who I am and who you are in me. My word is living and active, sharper than any sword, and it will guard you against every lie of the enemy. I am your shield, and I take that role very seriously. Just as a shepherd protects his sheep, so do I protect you. I am constantly watching over you, guiding you, and leading you to places of safety. Even when you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you do not need to fear, because I am with you. My rod and my staff, they comfort you. I will lead you beside still waters, and I will restore your soul. This is my promise to you, my beloved. In every season of life, I want you to turn to me. When the days are easy, and when the days are hard, let me be your constant refuge. Do not wait until the storm is upon you to seek me. Come to me daily. Spend time in my presence, and let me be the one who fills you with strength, peace, and confidence. When you make me your refuge, you will find that you can face any challenge with grace, knowing that I am with you. You will walk in peace even in the midst of the storm because you know that I am your shield and defender. There is nothing you face that I cannot handle. There is no battle too great, no problem too complex for me. I am the creator of the heavens and the earth. I spoke the world into existence, and I sustain all things by the power of my word. If I am for you, who can be against you? I am your refuge, and in me, you are secure. So, my child, when the world feels overwhelming, when the attacks of the enemy seem too much to bear, turn to me. Run into my arms, and let me be your refuge and shield. I will protect you, I will guide you, and I will lead you to places of rest and peace. You are safe with me. I am your refuge, now and always. If these words about turning to God as your refuge and shield have touched your heart, write in the comments, Lord, you are my refuge and shield. I trust in you. My precious child, I know how difficult it can be to wait. When you are wronged, when people treat you unfairly, when justice seems far away, it's easy to feel frustrated and impatient. But I want you to remember this. I am a God of justice. I see everything. Nothing escapes my notice. Every wrong done to you, every injustice you have faced, I know it all, and I have promised that justice will come. My timing may not be your timing, but I assure you, my timing is perfect. It is natural to want things to be made right immediately, but I call you to wait patiently for my justice. You see, my child, my justice is not just about punishing the wrongdoer. It is about restoration. I am working on your behalf in ways you cannot see. While you may want to take matters into your own hands and to respond in anger or frustration, I ask you to trust me. Let me handle it. Let me bring about justice in my way and in my time. When you feel like the world is unfair, when you see those who harm you seemingly succeed, do not lose heart. I know the plans I have for you, and they are good plans. I am the one who lifts you up. I am the one who brings vindication. Trust that I will not allow the wrongs done to you to go unanswered. I will make all things right, but I ask you to trust me with the process. Trust me enough to wait. Do you remember the story of Joseph? His brothers sold him into slavery, betraying him in the cruelest way. For years, Joseph lived with the pain of that betrayal, suffering in ways that seemed unjust and undeserved. But I was with Joseph every step of the way. Even in the midst of his suffering, I was preparing him for something greater, and in my perfect timing, I lifted him up, placing him in a position of honor and authority. The very ones who betrayed him were the ones who bowed before him. My justice prevailed, but it came in my time. The same is true for you, my child. You may feel like justice is delayed, but I assure you, it is not denied. I am working behind the scenes, aligning everything according to my perfect will. There are things happening that you cannot see, but you must trust that I am in control. I am not slow to act, as some might think. I am patient, because I am working not only for your good, but also for the good of those around you. My justice is always perfect, because it is rooted in my love and my desire for redemption. You may feel like the injustice you've experienced is too great to bear, but I want you to bring it to me. Lay it down at my feet. Let me carry that burden for you. You don't have to fight for yourself, because I am fighting for you. Every tear you've cried, every sleepless night, every moment of frustration, I have seen it all. I am near to you and I am working on your behalf. But in the waiting, I ask you to remain faithful. Don't let bitterness take root in your heart. Don't let anger consume you. Trust in me and allow my peace to fill your heart as you wait for my justice to unfold. There is strength in waiting. It may not feel like it, but as you wait patiently for my justice, I am strengthening your heart. I am building your faith, teaching you to rely on me more fully. It's in the waiting that you learn to trust me, not just for the outcome, but for the process as well. I am teaching you to walk by faith, to trust that even when things seem unjust, I am still good. My plans for you are still good, and I am working all things together for your good. Remember what my servant David wrote: "Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Do not fret when people succeed in their ways, when they carry out their wicked schemes." David understood what it meant to wait for my justice. He was pursued by Saul, falsely accused, hunted like a criminal, even though he had done nothing wrong. Yet, David did not take matters into his own hands. He trusted me. He waited for my justice. And in my time, I vindicated him. I will do the same for you. It's easy to look around and see those who seem to get away with wrongdoing, but I want you to keep your eyes on me. Do not let the success of the wicked cause you to doubt my justice. I know what is happening. I see every hidden act, every unfair word spoken, every injustice you face, and I promise you, I will make it right. But I ask you to wait patiently. Let me work in my way, and in the meantime, continue to walk in obedience. Continue to love, continue to serve, continue to trust in my goodness. You don't have to understand everything, my child. You don't have to have all the answers. All I ask is that you trust me. Trust that I see what you cannot see. Trust that I am working in ways that are beyond your understanding. Trust that my justice is not just about the here and now, but about eternity. I am always working for your eternal good, and sometimes that means waiting. But know this, your waiting is never in vain. In the waiting, draw near to me. Let my presence fill the spaces where frustration and anger try to creep in. When you feel overwhelmed by the injustice, turn to me. Pour out your heart to me, and I will give you peace. I will remind you of my promises. I will remind you that I am faithful, that I will never leave you, and that I am always working on your behalf. My justice will come, and when it does, it will be perfect. So, my beloved, be still. Wait patiently for my justice. It will come, and it will come in ways that are far greater than you could ever imagine. I am not just working to make things right. I am working to bring about something beautiful in your life. Trust me with the process. Trust me with the timing, and know that I am with you every step of the way, holding you, protecting you, and preparing you for the fullness of my justice and blessing. If these words about waiting patiently for God's justice have spoken to your heart, write in the comments, I trust your timing, Lord. I will wait for your justice. My precious child, I want you to remember something very important today. I am with you. Wherever you go, whatever you face, I am by your side. I have promised you that I will never leave you nor forsake you, and my promises never fail. You can walk through life with confidence, not because of your own strength or abilities, but because you have me. I am your guide, your protector, and your provider. When you truly understand that I am with you, it changes everything. It gives you a boldness, a courage, and a peace that the world cannot understand. So many times, my child, you let fear creep into your heart. You worry about the future, about what might happen, about how things will turn out. But I am asking you to shift your focus. Instead of looking at the uncertainties, look at me. Instead of focusing on your fears, focus on my presence. I am with you, and that changes everything. I have gone before you, I stand beside you, and I walk behind you, covering you with my protection. When you walk in that knowledge, you can face anything with confidence. Think of the many times throughout Scripture when my people faced impossible situations, yet they walked with boldness because they knew I was with them. Remember Moses standing before the Red Sea, with Pharaoh's army closing in behind him. The situation looked hopeless, but Moses trusted in my presence. I parted the sea before him, making a way where there was no way. The same is true for you, my child. When you face obstacles that seem insurmountable, remember that I am the God who makes a way. I will lead you through the impossible. When you feel overwhelmed, when you feel unsure of the path ahead, take a moment to breathe deeply and remember that I am here. I am the same God who was with Moses and who was with David and who was with Joshua. I have never changed. Just as I was faithful to them, so am I faithful to you. You do not walk alone. You do not face your battles alone. I am with you, and my presence is enough. I want you to take hold of that truth and walk confidently in it, knowing that I am guiding your every step. Confidence doesn't come from having everything figured out. It doesn't come from having all the answers or knowing how every situation will turn out. True confidence comes from knowing that I am in control. I am sovereign over every part of your life, and nothing surprises me. When you place your trust in me, you can walk with a quiet assurance, knowing that even when things don't go as planned, I am working for your good. You don't have to have it all figured out, my child. You just need to trust me. Do you remember Joshua, my faithful servant? After Moses had passed away, Joshua was called to lead my people into the promised land. It was a daunting task. The enemies were strong, the land was unknown, and Joshua could have easily been overwhelmed. But I spoke these words to him. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Those words are for you too, my beloved. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, because I am with you. The road ahead may be uncertain, but I am guiding you every step of the way. When fear tries to creep in, when doubts cloud your mind, I want you to speak my promises over your life. Declare the truth that I am with you. Speak my words of life and power. There is great authority in my word, and when you speak it, it strengthens your spirit. The enemy wants to make you feel weak, to make you doubt yourself, to make you forget that I am with you. But when you speak my promises, it reminds you, and it reminds him, that you are not walking alone. You are covered by my presence, and no weapon formed against you can prosper. My child, the world will try to make you doubt, to make you feel small and powerless. But I want you to know that you have my spirit living inside of you. The same power that raised Jesus from the dead is alive in you. That is the source of your confidence. Not in yourself, not in your own strength, but in me. I have given you everything you need to walk in victory. When you face challenges, remember that I am with you, and my strength is made perfect in your weakness. You don't have to rely on your own abilities. I am your strength. There will be times when the path ahead seems unclear. You may not always know which step to take or where I am leading you. But even in those moments, you can walk with confidence, knowing that I am directing your steps. I have promised to guide you, to make your path straight, and to lead you in the way you should go. When you don't know what to do, simply come to me. Ask for my wisdom, and I will give it to you. I am a God who speaks, who leads, and who guides. You are never left to figure things out on your own. And remember, my child, that even when things don't go as you planned, even when you make mistakes or take a wrong turn, I am still with you. I am the God of redemption, the God who works all things together for good. Nothing is wasted in my hands. I can take even the wrong turns, the failures, the mistakes, and use them for your growth and my glory. So, walk in confidence, knowing that I am always working on your behalf. Even when things don't go as expected, there is a peace that comes from walking with me, a peace that surpasses all understanding. I want you to walk in that peace, my child. Don't let fear, doubt, or uncertainty steal your confidence. Let my peace guard your heart and mind. When you walk in my peace, then you can face any situation with calm assurance, knowing that I am with you and that I will never leave you. So, my beloved, lift your head. Walk in the confidence that comes from knowing that the God of all creation is with you. You are not alone, and you never will be. I am your strength, your shield, your guide, and your protector. Walk boldly, walk confidently, and trust that I am leading you every step of the way. If these words about walking in confidence, knowing God is with you, have spoken to your heart, write in the comments, I will walk in confidence, Lord, because I know you are with me. My beloved child, thank you for staying with me throughout this message. I am so glad you spent this time listening to my heart. Before you go, I want to remind you to subscribe so you never miss a word I have for you. Share this message with someone who needs to hear it, because you never know how it might bring light into their life. Now, as I promised, here is your special surprise. The video appearing on your screen right now. In it, I will show you even more of the plans I have for your life and how I'm turning every situation around for your good. Keep watching, my child, because in this next message, you'll discover how my love is guiding you through every challenge. This is not the end. It's just the beginning of something greater I'm about to do in your life.